No, this is not happening. I was rolling. I think the battery is going dead. Most people would freak out if something like this just happened. I'm in my studio. Welcome to Talking Just to Talk with King Ferdinand. The battery in the camera was going dead. I have so much going on right now. It's crazy. And I'm trying to keep track of everything that I have to do before I start recording an episode so that I can do it more efficient each time. But most people would just freak out because the camera battery went dead and just all kinds of different things just happened. But it excites me to get back on this microphone and talk just to talk with you every single day. But welcome to the show. I had a great idea to talk to you about the art of storytelling. And I think about storytelling in three parts, right? So storytelling, I believe the best public speakers, best storytellers, best leaders, best presenters, they usually come across as if they are talking just to talk with a friend. Have you ever been in a conference or a meeting and you have a person that's going up there to present, a leader or whatever the case may be, and they go up there and they make it seem so easy and casual, and they ask a question at the very beginning and everybody raise their hand, or maybe they don't because the question didn't apply to them. But you immediately get the group's attention when you go up there with the right energy and you are a great storyteller. So I'll give you my perspective on the things that make a great storyteller. Three things. One is having some kind of structure and cadence in your mind. I think that it's important to have something in mind, an idea of what you want to share, even though you may not know word for word what you're going to say. Now, me in this show, and this is a skill set that I'm building myself, is being able to press record and record an episode of Talking Just to Talk with King Ferdinand without a script, without, word for word, exactly what I'm going to say to you, because I believe that is a very important muscle, important skill to build in any career, whatever it is that you're going to be doing with your life. I think communication, effective communication and storytelling is two things that you should really hone in on, no matter what it is that you are doing in your career. So this message is not just for the aspiring public speaker, the leader that's going to be on stage leading a team. This message is for creators, entrepreneurs, entertainers, interesting and cool people, even comedians, whoever that might be, that want to tell better stories and captivate an audience. So I think having a bit of structure in your mind, I follow a cadence, and I've talked about this on other episodes. I got the best advice ever from a colleague many years ago. And he said the best way to think about a presentation is to think about it in three parts. Tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And my cadence, because of course I'm rephrasing it to be applicable to all of this foolishness I have going on, talking just to talk. But talk about what you're going to talk about, which I already did. If you notice, I've been talking about, leading up to storytelling and what that's going to look like. If you want to become a better storyteller, a better public speaker, a better presenter, sharing your story, whatever that looks like, I've been telling you what I'm going to tell you at the beginning of this episode. And then tell them, right? So talk about exactly what you want to share with them. Give them the chicken nuggets to chew on, right? Throughout this episode. And then at the end, talk about what you're going to talk about. So talk about it, talk about what you're going to talk about, and then talk about. I just messed it up, and I'm not going to redo it. So it's tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them. And then talk about what you're going to talk about it, and then talk about what you just talked about. I told you I don't do retakes in this show unless the battery goes dead in the camera. That's the only reason why I have to start over. But even that just kind of re-energized me and got me even more excited to get on this microphone. So I think having some sort of structure in your mind of what you want to talk about is very important in storytelling. But let your vocabulary, let your life experience speak for itself. Let that shine through, because that's going to be extremely authentic. And that is actually the second point. So have a structure in your mind and allow yourself to use the vocabulary and the stories that you have from your life experience shine through so that you can communicate your message. And I think that is, like I said, it just brings me right to authenticity. The way you see me on camera with other people talking just to talk, and also the way you see me right now, I'm like I said, there's no teleprompter, there's nothing. There's just me being me, King Ferdinand, all one word. And so this is a muscle that I've built over my professional career, and even in the short period of time that I've been a podcaster, a creator, content creator, and all of these things. It's been a couple years, but I still consider myself to be fairly new in this game, still wet behind the ears, still learning something new every single day. So that authenticity is so important. Let your personality lean forward, because you might have quirks and a personality, sense of humor, and those things will be extremely relatable to your audience or whoever you're speaking to, right? Because I'm talking about storytelling, but you could be telling a story to one person. And in this show, I always communicate as if I'm talking to one person, because my philosophy is that there's only one of us here collectively. Even though we might be living our individual lives, I believe there's one human race and we are all one. There's no separation. I'm not black and you're white or whatever the case. It's literally, we're one human race. That's a different episode of Talking Just to Talk with King Ferdinand. But there's my authenticity. I'm being authentic to who I am and telling you a little bit about like my belief systems and who I am as a person as I'm telling your story, right? So then the next part is creating an emotion. When you are sharing a story with your audience or a party of one, you want to leave them with a sense of feeling something. Because I believe in every aspect of life, we remember more than anything how people made us feel, how that thing made us feel, how the day made us feel, how our jobs, our manager, our boss, whatever it is that you're in terms of professional life, whatever your situation is, we remember more than anything how it made us feel. And so structure, that's the number one thing I said. The second thing is authenticity, just being who you are at the core as you communicate your message. And then that third part is leaving them with an emotion. And so I'll tell you a little bit about this because I'm going to continue to infuse this into my storytelling every single chance that I get, because it's a part of my journey. But I was in the studio, this was yesterday, and I, once again, pressed record, didn't think about what I was going to say word for word. However, the idea was finding your voice. That's the message that came to mind of what I wanted to share. And I got a bit emotional because I started to tell the story about where I came from. I'm originally from New Orleans, Louisiana. And my first job ever, I was a cashier at a grocery store, Winn-Dixie. If you are familiar with that area in the South, Winn-Dixie is like the most common grocery store you'll find in Dallas. It's Kroger and Albertsons. But I got emotional because I talked about my first job as a cashier at a grocery store, making announcements over the loudspeaker. We have a cleanup on aisle 3. And then it just kind of grew from there. After Hurricane Katrina, a lot of great opportunities. And even before Hurricane Katrina, I was recruited for another opportunity to work for a company called the Sharpen image. if you know what that is, when they had retail stores, I was recruited for bigger and better opportunities, more lucrative, more responsibility, more visibility. All of those things started to happen over time, especially when I got to Dallas. So just fast forward to the opportunity that I worked for, last opportunity where I worked for another organization, the largest technology company in the world. And my voice having to amplify bigger and louder to be more impactful, to get everyone aligned on the same vision, right? The same objectives. And there's been several other opportunities in between, of course, but I just really got emotional yesterday and grateful when I reflected back on the opportunities that I have been blessed with. And it is just interesting because in 2019, I had a very clear vision of myself, communicating with an audience, addressing an audience from a stage. And I could not see the audience face and details. All I could see was a silhouette. I had a singular light shining from behind the audience towards me. And I thought it was a nightmare because I will not say that I was afraid of public speaking, but that was not in the realm of the things that I considered doing for a living, or didn't think I really had the capacity to do it, or really wanted to do it. It just kind of like my voice started to amplify and grow and get bigger and bigger and bigger. So in 2019, I had this vision and it shocked me. It startled me. It really confused me. And I got emotional because I realized I am a very bold and courageous person. And I realized I have been pursuing the vision that was shown to me in 2019 with all of this. Everything that you're seeing, everything that you watch on social media, if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, TikTok, all of those things at kingFerdinand.tj2t. And if you're watching any of these episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Apple Podcasts, I talk about this platform being about effective communication, storytelling, and public speaking, because that's where I'm going. So being bold and courageous enough to pursue the kind of person that would deserve the right to hold an audience attention. What value am I bringing, right? I had to discover that. I had to figure out what that's going to look like so that I can continue bringing the chicken nuggets back home for you to consume. So it just full circle. Storytelling to me, keep a structure in mind. I told you the structure. Talk about what you're going to talk about it, and then talk about what you just talked about. Well, the three things I talked about with storytelling, I think, is have a structure, authenticity, and then also create an emotion. So leave people with a feeling, okay? So everything about this platform, everything about what I've created with Talking Just to Talk with King Ferdinand, my personal brand, how I'm showing up in the world, that is something that is near and dear to my heart, and I will continue to push forward and make it happen. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode of Talking Just to Talk with King Ferdinand. We celebrate the art of conversation, and it's all centered around communication, where I get to create an environment for you and me to speak from the heart. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you soon.